We have begun to focus on the fact that uh, the world is a shopping center. The world is a shopping center for us to be able to come closer to Hashem. That's the world is a it's a full service shopping center, and we need to make decisions about in what way each of us individually, this is not just the world of people collectively, each of us individually, what we could use to come closer to Hashem. And in this shopping mall called the world, you will find what you need to be able to come closer to Hashem. Because Hashem is placing all of the tools that you might need to exercise closeness to Hashem and to become more involved with eternity. Hashem has placed those into the world. And that also means that resisting some things that distance you from Hashem means don't spend time in that store. Because if you spend time in that store, you're going to be buying things that are going to take you away from your closeness to Hashem. Again, very personal, each person recognizing what he or she needs in their journey of coming closer to Hashem. In a general sense, what it means to come closer to Hashem is to approximate, is to come as close as we can in this world to the world as it was originally created. The world as it was originally created, which was just an expression of chesed and hatova, and just Hashem showering his goodness. In fact, that's the only reason why the world exists. It's for Hashem to shower his goodness and his kindness. So the closer you come to the original purpose of and form of creation, the closer you are coming to an eternal relationship with Hashem. So closeness equals a pure tie with Hashem as it was expressed in original creation. Now, that may sound very philosophical and kind of highfalutin, but it provides a guide. How do I know if I'm using the world properly? And the answer is that I'm finding myself getting closer to the original creation. So let's give some applications to that. So one application to that is a person who is focusing on what's broken or wrong with the world. So he's buying in this store, and the store is very dark because it's filled with what is broken in the world. Now, if a person is able to utilize some darkness to come closer to Hashem, perhaps it humbles him, perhaps it helps him steer away from certain activities that bring darkness. It helps him pray for the light of creation. Then he's using darkness well. But if he's finding that he's spending a lot of time in darkness, then it's reasonable to assume that he's in the wrong store. And he should not be spending that much time, if any time, in a store like that. So the push is towards original creation. What about a person focusing on his own shortcomings, on his own averos, his own shortcomings, his own bad midos, his own negative tendencies? So that's a dark store. That's a dark store in the shopping mall. How much time, how much energy can a person afford to focus on what he's doing wrong? And the answer is as much as he can use to be able to focus on more good. That means that if focusing on his shortcomings empowers him, it gives him direction, it humbles him, it allows him to do tshuva, it allows him to grow, it enables his coming closer, then he's using that darkness well. And that's part of a good use for that aspect of our being. But if he finds himself getting down, becoming despondent, now becoming distant from his original purpose, if he finds himself staying in this dark place, then he has to assume that he's spending too much time in the wrong store. So nobody can tell somebody else how much energy should a person spend thinking about their own shortcomings. How much energy, how much time can somebody afford to spend thinking about their own shortcomings? I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. If the person finds that he's not coming closer to the source of absolute good, meaning his connection to creation, where there was no evil, where there was no there was this external tendency that a person got merit for overcoming it. But the idea of shortcoming and evil is something that we created later in the game, in which Hashem allows that to be in the world so that we can use it to come closer. Why does there need to be death? There needs to be death because a person who would live forever is not going to achieve what he's meant to achieve spiritually, because he'll take it easy and figure that he has eternity to work with. So there needs to be death. But if a person dwells on death, then he will not be using it in order to grow. The same thing is true with illness, and the same thing is true with tragedy. So the tragedy is necessary as a tool to be able to come closer to original perfection. But tragedy must never be the focus. And that's why there could never be a book about October 7th, or a book about the Holocaust, or some other horrible books that are out there that dwell on horror. There could never be such a thing, because that means you spent too much time in the wrong store, because your world is not connecting to original creation. Your world is connecting to what's broken in creation. And that would be true regarding the person's own shortcomings, as it would be true about shortcomings of the world. And I just wanted to highlight a very interesting comment that Shraga pointed me to. The Mishnah at the end of Peah says that a person who makes believe that he is an invalid in order to get people to have compassion on him won't leave the world without having that come to fruition. So the simple understanding, almost doesn't need comment, is that if you make it seem as though you're in bad shape, so that you're basically ripping people off. The person didn't necessarily want to give you money, but he was moved by his compassion, so he gave money. So the commentaries, the Tiferes, and I sent it around as a link. The Tiferes says that's not what happened. What happened is, let's read. Let me read the words to you for a moment. Piseach, a person makes believe that he is a cripple. Bebeis ragla, he makes it seem as though he's an invalid in both of his legs. Ve'ose atzmo kach, he fakes it. It's not real. Midehu ani, we're talking about a person who is entitled to receive tzedakah. We're not talking about somebody who's ripping people off. He's entitled to receive tzedakah. But he feels Kadesh Yirachmu Alav, they'll give him a little bit more, or they'll give it with a more generous heart. That's what he's doing. He's fooling them, not in the sense that he's taking money that he's not entitled to take. He's an ani. He's a poor person. He's entitled to charity. But he's squeezing people with his disability. Afilu hachi ne'enash. Still, he's going to be punished. Because what he did is reduced kvod shamayim ki'ilu bara bal mum yoser ba'olam. It's as if Hashem made one more cripple in the world. You hear that? It's as if he's making it seem as though Hashem made one more cripple. Let's say he's lame in one leg and he makes it seem as though he's on two legs. He's making the world, he's giving the sense that Hashem made the world a little bit more defective. V'harei, haroe brios yofos, tzarich litain shevach lishmo yizbarach. A person who sees something positive in the Bria has to praise Hashem. V'zeh kofui tova. He is rejecting that goodness. He's rejecting the goodness in the world. He's rejecting the goodness of the fact that he maybe has use of one leg, and he makes it seem as though he doesn't have use of two legs. And he was meant to use the ability, the capacity that he has. He was meant to use it to give praise to Hashem. And he is not giving praise to Hashem. Instead, he's making it seem as though there is more broken in the world. Think of the implications of that statement. That means any time a person exaggerates anything that is negative in the world, he is a kafui tova in the sense that that's not the way Hashem made the world. Hashem made the world with absolute perfection. So yeah, but you see that there are invalids. Invalids are necessary. Invalids are necessary to remind people to be grateful for what they have. It's to humble people. It's to help them daven, to pray on behalf of the disabled person. If it's to pray and ask Hashem to spare them. Whatever positive can come, that negative is in the world in order to bring the person to ultimate perfection. But if a person exaggerates that, he makes it seem as though there is imperfection in the world. And the exact same thing will be true if he exaggerates his own flaws. If he exaggerates his own flaws, he is making it seem as though there's more negativity in the world than there actually is. And that is the direction where a person is choosing to use in this fabulous shopping mall, where he's choosing what to focus on. He will see everything. He'll see good, he'll see bad, he'll see everything. But what will he focus on? He must focus on that which brings him closer to original creation. And the fact that there's negativity, the fact that there's things in the world that appear broken, they are in the world. They're in the world for a purpose to help all of us get closer to perfection. But if a person exaggerates them, then it does not help him get closer to perfection. Then it starts becoming a focus on that which is broken. And a focus on that which is broken does not bring a person closer to Hashem at all. So we have to use this general principle. We're trying to get to original creation. In order to get to original creation, we need to focus. We're going to have many, many things that are going to come across our radar screen. We're going to have to select what we're going to focus on, and we're going to focus on that which brings us closer to that original state. to the original state of Olam Chesed Yiboneh. As somebody once said, if there could be another color of flowers in the world, there would be. If the world could be any better than it is, it would be. And if a person highlights that which is broken, even a drop more broken than it actually is, or that it actually can be used, that what he's doing is he's being mima'it in kvod shemayim. So thank you, Shraga, and I'm grateful that we had a chance to share this. It's the yesod of how we are meant to use the world to perceive it properly.